Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all. As I said, it's great to be back and see you all after my 3 weeks absence in Japan. So I sent out an email about the talk that I would give, I guess 3 days ago or 4 days ago, and it was about Suzuki Roshi and Adyashanti and so on. And that was a talk that was in my mind 4 days ago. But then today I started having other reflections, so I'm not sure if that's exactly the talk that I'll be giving. But I was struck by Suzuki's, they call him DT Suzuki in Japan. His deep influence in Japan it's tremendous, and I think also his influence in so many countries in the world around how Zen is understood. So that's probably why his teachings were center of mind for me. And of course, as you know, Adyashanti is one of my key teachers, and Ramana Maharshi as well. And all these teachers, and Ajahn Chah is another one who was coming to mind more today. They all profoundly impacted my happiness. And that's, I guess, one way I could put it. They just impacted how sort of content, and I guess the word that the Buddha would use is equanimous or equanimity. And then I was reflecting on the wisdom of a maple tree. I like nature, and realized that I think that the maple tree and the maple tree seed probably had just as much impact on teaching me about happiness as these teachers. So those are the kind of reflections that I've been thinking about and contemplating and reflecting on. The wonderful quote from Ajahn Chah, let go a little, have a little happiness, let go a lot, have a lot of happiness, let go completely, have complete happiness. It struck me that's a literal roadmap for our practice, and the importance of letting go. Just letting go and letting go. We get wrapped up in the content of our experience, and we let go. We just let go. And we do that in our meditation, as we just did, where we let go. We get swept away again, and then we let go. And what struck me in that quote was letting go completely. There's some benefit, and the Buddha taught about, the categories that we let go of, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, for example, bringing mindfulness to these different aspects of our experience, or the 5 aggregates, how we cling to those and how that causes suffering, so we can let go of those. So there's lots of these categories. But Ajahn Chah is saying, let go completely. So it really struck me that we can really move beyond letting go in these kind of categories and just let go completely. Just a complete emptying out, a complete non-attachment to these aspects of our experience. And when we do that, we can touch into this always and already there completeness, peace, that is happiness, that's always there. But it gets clouded over, right? That metaphor of the clouds, of the sky, and the clouds obscuring the sun that's always there. Can we see that that's always there and sense into that? And not just when we're meditating, but when we finish meditating, we can continue to do that. We can allow ourselves to flow, to get into the flow of life when we're not so wrapped up in the clouds, in the content of our experience, and allow life to flow. DT Suzuki, let me just find this quote. When we start to feel anxious or depressed, instead of asking, what do I need to get to be happy? The question becomes, what am I doing to disturb the inner peace that I already have? It's a very, very profound statement. When we start to feel anxious or depressed, instead of asking, what do I need to be happy? What do I need to get to be happy? The question becomes, what am I doing to disturb the inner peace that I already have? This is a lot like Adyashanti's quote, we don't enlighten ourselves, we only unenlighten ourselves. When I first heard that, it was a real head scratcher. I thought, we don't. We're just seeing how we unenlighten ourselves. We're seeing how we disturb the inner peace that's always and already there. So we're bringing Ajahn Chah back in there. We're letting go of that. And we connect in with that inner peace that's already there. So we shift our perspective. Really, and it's a shift in some ways from external solutions, or what do I need to find out there that'll make me happy, or what do I need to change in here that will make me happy? It's all we're trying to move the clouds around, right? Instead, it invites us to shift our mindset to a more introspective exploration. The Buddha talked about the 8 worldly winds. I always forget what they all are, but I think that's gain and loss, status and disgrace, disapproval and praise, and pleasure and pain. And that's tends to be where we operate. Try to get one and get rid of the other, right? We want gain, we don't want loss, we want status, we don't want disgrace, we want pleasure, we don't want pain. So our way of finding contentment and happiness is to play around with those 8 worldly winds, is the translation. And as the Buddha said, they just keep us spinning. They just keep us spinning and obscuring what is our true nature. And that's how we're unenlightening ourselves, by staying in that space of the 8 worldly winds, or finding happiness in changing our external experience, or something that's internal. That juxtaposition between that search, that external search, versus just connecting with our already present internal peace. Asking the question, what am I doing to disturb this inner peace that I already have? What am I doing to unenlighten myself? That's all it is. That's the question. To really reflect on that. What am I doing to disturb this inner peace that's already there? It's always there. Never goes anywhere. Like the sun, it's always there. It's not something that we attain. We don't attain enlightenment. don't become enlightened. We just simply connect with what's there. And I guess you could say somebody that considers themselves enlightened is simply somebody that's dwelling in that place. They never leave, right? They just permanently sitting on the sun. It's never veiled. It's never clouded over. And Ramana Maharshi's quote is another quote I love, is, happiness is your nature. It's not wrong to desire it. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it's inside. Isn't that beautiful? Happiness is your nature. Completeness, wholeness, happiness, peace, whatever words you want to use. And it's not wrong to long for that. We all long for that. There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it's inside. Seeking it in new experiences. And I can see this in my journey. Anxiousness arises. Well, the first thing I did was recreational drugs. I thought that would be the way to deal with anxiousness and depression. That didn't work. So then tried a more conventional approach, but in the 70s, recreational drugs were the conventional approach. Then I guess I matured and tried therapy and medication. That didn't really work. And not to say that there's anything wrong with therapy and medication, right? Just that it kind of masked the anxiety and the depression. So then I heard about spirituality and thought, maybe this is the ticket. And started a practice and thought that would help me overcome my anxiety and depression. Right? So recreational drugs didn't work, medications didn't work, therapy didn't work. So I thought, let's try meditation. Right? Will this connect me with the happiness that I long for? So even though I had moved to something introspective, I still had the mindset that I was going to change something in me. Right? It really took some time I practiced with that approach for some time until I realized what was happening. That I was still looking for this happiness externally and changing something. And when I realized that, the second part of DT Suzuki's quote kicked in. That I realized that it was an aspect, it was true nature. So then I found the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, which really provided that foundation of love and kindness. If you're familiar with Thay's teachings, it's all about it's imbued with compassion and love, and of course I really felt loved and held in that teaching environment. I still felt I was searching for happiness and love externally, right? I was just getting it from Thich Nhat Hanh now. Still externally. Then Adyashanti appeared on the scene with statements like, you don't enlighten yourself. You can only unenlighten yourself. And what's another statement that it hit me like a ton of bricks? We always and already are our true nature. You've heard me say that so many times. I thought, wow, if we always and already are happiness, why am I running around, looking for it everywhere except right here, right? It's right. It's here. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to fly to, a retreat with Thai in some faraway place, or even with Ajahn. So this really, the essence of Suzuki's quote really started to sink in. What was I doing to disturb the inner peace that's already there? I don't need to find it or create it. Just kind of look at how am I unenlightening myself? What illusions am I holding on to? What illusions am I holding on to? So it's all about letting go of illusions. And recognizing that our essential nature is already whole, it's already complete, it's already peaceful. It's not something that we attain or acquire. It's just simply overlooked because it's obscured. So letting go completely. So if we already are our true nature, you can just look at how we're veiling that true nature. So that the depression, anxiety is a temporary arising based on causes and conditions. It's a temporary disturbance, but we can at any time reconnect with our ever-present peace and calm. And this is the nature of everything. Right? Everything in nature contains this true nature, is unfolding. So this is where the maple tree seed comes in. Right? Take a maple tree seed, it's already complete. It contains the entire essence of a maple tree. All its branches and roots and needles. So the maple tree is inherent in that tiny seed. And it simply unfolds over time. So imagine if a maple tree seed had its own spiritual awakening, it would realize its completeness. It would feel happy and complete just as it is, without needing to become anything else, without seeking anything else. And this realization for human beings is profound. So under the right conditions, the seed sprouts, right? Grows roots, develops a trunk, reaches towards the sun, branches unfold. So it's unfolding its potential throughout its life, and then it dies and nourishes the next seed as fertilizer. So we're simply unfolding potential and completeness at the same time. So our unfolding potential as human beings and our completeness and complete happiness can coexist in this way. It's the true nature of everything, of all beings. Just like the Buddha, when he awakened under the Bodhi tree, what did he say? All beings are I, and all beings everywhere have simultaneously realized liberation. And illustrating that, also that interconnected nature. So from the ego's perspective, what I'm saying may seem puzzling. But when we touch into our true nature, when true nature awakens through an individual human being, it's the awakening of true nature itself. It extends beyond this individual human being, beyond individual boundaries. I'll perhaps back up to my original statement of, combining all these teachers, letting go completely. Seeing how we unenlighten ourselves by holding on. And realizing that our happiness is already and always present within us and can be touched into at any moment. We don't have to go anywhere to touch this.